Hi guys, welcome back to our channel Infinite Facts. Think of Antarctica. What comes to mind? Probably just a massive, empty wasteland of ice and snow, right? Well, what if I told you that this frozen continent is hiding some of the most mind-blowing secrets on our planet? Today, we are going on an expedition to uncover 5 incredible facts about Antarctica that sound like they re-straight out of a science fiction movie. So grab your warmest jacket, and let's dive into the mysteries of the coldest place on Earth. You're not going to believe what's really happening down at the South Pole. First up, let's get something straight. Antarctica isn't just cold, it's a desert. In fact, it's the largest desert on the entire planet. I know that sounds completely wrong. We think of deserts as hot, sandy places like the Sahara. But the definition of a desert is a place that receives very little precipitation. And Antarctica gets even less rain and snow than the Sahara does. The air is so cold and dry that it just can't hold much moisture. So next time you picture a desert, don't just think of sand dunes and camels. Imagine an endless expanse of cracked, frozen ground under a crystal-clear sky, stretching for millions of square miles. It's a polar desert, the biggest one we have. Now, here's a fact that's both amazing and a little terrifying. That massive ice sheet covering Antarctica. It holds about 70% of all the fresh water on Earth. Let that sink in for a moment. Nearly 3/4 of the planet's drinkable water is locked up in solid form right there. This ice sheet is, on average, over a mile thick. If all of that ice were to melt, global sea levels would rise by a catastrophic 200 feet. We're talking about entire coastal cities like Miami, Amsterdam, and Shanghai disappearing completely beneath the waves. It is a stark reminder of just how fragile our world's balance is and how much is at stake with climate change. This isn't just a block of ice. It's a sleeping giant that holds the fate of our coastlines. If you think a windy day is bad where you live, you haven't seen anything yet. Antarctica holds the record for the most extreme winds on the planet. These are called katabatic winds. Cold, dense air from the high interior plateau gets pulled down by gravity, accelerating as it rushes towards the coast. How fast can it get? We're talking gusts of over 200 miles per hour. To put that in perspective, that's stronger than a Category 5 hurricane. These winds can literally pick up people and equipment and throw them around. Imagine trying to walk, or even just stand, when the air itself is a relentless, unstoppable force. The researchers who live there have to tether themselves and their buildings to the ground to avoid being blown away into the white abyss. We all know Antarctica is cold, but do you know how cold it can actually get? In 1983, at the Russian Vostok station, scientists recorded the lowest natural temperature ever observed on the surface of the Earth, a bone-chilling -89.2 degrees Celsius. That's -128.6 degrees Fahrenheit. At temperatures that low, the world as we know it completely changes. Throwing a cup of boiling water into the air will make it instantly explode into a cloud of ice crystals. Your lungs could freeze if you breathe the air directly. Even steel becomes brittle and can shatter like glass. It's an environment so extreme that it's more like being on another planet than on our own. Finally, let's talk about one of Antarctica's most bizarre and mysterious features: blood falls. Deep in a remote frozen valley, there's a glacier that appears to be bleeding. A vibrant, crimson-red waterfall pours out from the tongue of the Taylor Glacier onto the ice of Lake Bonny below. For years, scientists were baffled. Was it some kind of red algae? The answer is even stranger. Trapped beneath the glacier is an ancient, super-salty lake that has been cut off from the outside world for millions of years. This water is rich in iron, and when it finally seeps out and hits the air, the iron oxidizes, it rusts instantly, staining the water a deep blood-red color. It's a ghostly, beautiful, and slightly creepy spectacle of nature. So, from being the world's largest desert to having waterfalls that bleed, Antarctica is so much more than just a sheet of ice. It's a land of extremes, a scientific treasure trove, and a place that still holds deep mysteries. Which of these facts shocked you the most? Let me know, down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey to the South Pole, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because there are plenty more secrets to uncover.